alaikum. Once Iraq and pretty much that when they talked about Iraq, they pretty much referred to the Middle East and more specifically the Muslim people, and it was described as Harvard for terrorists. So, and I've had a lot of conversations with people that always bring up some verses from the Quran, and they'll be like talking about how it is all about kill and take people away and do all these things. And to be honest, a lot of the times I couldn't really answer them because that's what they do. They only bring that little text which says that or which implies that meaning anyway. So I felt like there should be some kind of effort put into this thing to show up these verses, and it's not like a tafsir because I'm totally not qualified to do anything close to that. But I'm just talking about the verse itself. I'm not bringing any tafsir or anything, because if you talk to someone that is not a Muslim, or at least a lot of the times anyway, not Shia, you can't really even discuss the tafsir with them because they say, well, that's what you think it means. That's not necessarily what it means. So I spent a day or two looking into these verses, and I got some, hopefully all of them here. Every verse that has that meaning in a direct way, at least, because there are a lot of verses that you could find the word like qatala or uqtul or qatilu or akhriju or whatever, but they're like in a story. They're not directly as an order. And just one last thing I would like to shed some light on is because, and as we all know, Quran has been revealed in Arabic, so the Arabic language definitely has some kind of effect or influence on it. Just to make sure that we're on the same page, a lot of these words are written as qatilu, not uqtulu. Well, if you take the verb qatala, which comes from the root muqatala, which is mufa'ala, that is a I don't know, wazn, weight, that is used in Arabic to describe an action in between an action. So now if you want to if you want to tell someone for whatever reason to go and harm someone else, you would say kill him. You wouldn't say fight him, because fight him kind of, you're already in the fight, and then he's punching you or whatever, and then you want to respond. So qatil is more of like responding to that action. It's not really the action of going and doing something to someone, because it is not uqtul. Well, there is uqtul in the Quran, but most of these verses are written as qatala, which is again a reaction weight, not really an action weight, because you need to be in the process of fighting to say that. So some of these verses, the first one is the verse 190 of Surah Al-Baqarah, the cow, which is used a lot of times, and it says وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ. Well, that pretty much says it. Fight in the sake of Allah, those who fight you. But then after that it says وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا. So it's kind of like telling you, okay, fight him, but don't start the fight. You shouldn't be starting the fight. You would be defending yourself. That's the first ayah. And the ayah after that, and also it's the verse just after that where it says وَاقْتُلُوهُمْ حَيْثُ ثَقِفْتُمُوهُم وَأَخْرِجُوهُم مِّنْ حَيْثُ أَخْرَجُوكُم. That's also used a lot to kind of point at Islam as of like the religion of killing or whatever. But if you look at the verse where it says, and kill them wherever you find them, and take them out of whatever they took you out of. So it's more of like like a reaction again. Well, they took you out, of Mecca, or they pushed you out of Mecca at some point, and then you push them out, because it's a reaction. It's just to make it balanced. And then there is another verse which also comes after that verse, and says, وَقَاتِلُوهُمْ حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ فِتْنَةٌ وَيَكُونَ الدِّينُ لِلَّهِ. Well, it says, fight them, and so no, I don't know what is fitna in English. So no fitna will happen. وَيَكُونَ الدِّينُ لِلَّهِ. And then after that it says, فَإِنْ انْتَهَوْا فَلَا عُدْوَانَ عَلَى الظَّالِمِينَ. Intaha, which means they started the fight, and then you fought them, and you stopped them from doing whatever harm they were trying to do. So once they stop fighting, once they put their weapons or whatever on the ground, then فَلَا عُدْوَانَ إِلَّا عَلَى الظَّالِمِينَ. Then you don't do that again till you find someone that starts to fight you again, which is a zalim here. Some other verse also, which is 244 out of Al-Baqarah as well, and it says, وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. It also, I'm going through those verses with knowing the fact that qatilu, again, is not a verb that tells people to go and fight, but it's a verb where you're already in a war, so you shouldn't be stopping fighting them. And it says, but if you go to the verse before it, it says, أَلَمْ تَرَ إِلَى الَّذِينَ خَرَجُوا مِنْ دِيَارِهِمْ وَهُمْ أُلُوفٌ حَذَرَ الْمَوْتِ فَقَالَ لَهُمُ اللَّهُ مُوتُوا ثُمَّ أَحْيَاهُمْ. So those people already were kind of intimidated, because it says حَذَرَ الْمَوْتِ, out of, they're afraid of getting killed, or however you want to say it. So it's kind of a response to that. So it's not really like starting a fight. It's more of those people that like they were intimidated at some point, or they felt that they're going to get killed if they stay wherever they are. So they left the place they were in, and now Allah is kind of telling them, fight back and do not just run away. A few more verses in Surah An-Nisa, woman, the chapter that is called the woman anyway. Verse 74 here, verse 74 here says, فَلْيُقَاتِلْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يَشْرُونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا بِالْآخِرَةِ وَمَنْ يُقَاتِلْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ فَيُقْتَلْ أو يغلب فسوف نؤتيه أجرا عظيما. ومن فيقتل أو يغلب. So it's put in that meaning that you're already in the fight again. You're not starting the fight. You're not going and trying to for whatever reason kill people, maybe because just they're not Muslim, for if that's a way that some people might think. But if you look at that, the verse after that pretty much kind of describes what's going on. It says, وَمَا لَكُمْ لَا تُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَالْمُسْتَضْعَفِينَ مِنَ الرِّجَالِ. There is a group of Muslim people, من الرجال والنساء والولدان الذين يقولون ربنا أخرجنا من هذه القرية الظالم أهلها. So there is a group of Muslim people that already are in danger. So that's another time where you want to fight. It's not just like you want to go and just start blasting at people. And then verse 84 of Woman 2 says, فَقَاتِلْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ لَا تُكَلَّفُ إِلَّا نَفْسَكَ. And this is a verse that is used a lot because it has those two words that pretty much puts those people that want to show Islam as a really, really bad thing. When the word that it says وَحَرِّضِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, which means kind of push the mu'mineen into fighting in a way or another. But they do not show the part that is after that where it says, عَسَى اللَّهُ أَن يَكُفَّ بَأْسَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. So after that is, push people into fight so Allah might stop the violence from the other group. So there was already some violence out there. It's not like you're just starting to fight, but you're facing them back. Those people that are coming to, fight you or start a war. And this is another one that is that I've seen on once on, well, I regret every time I watch Fox News, but I've seen this one on Fox, and it says, فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا فَخُذُوهُمْ وَاقْتُلُوهُم حَيْثُ وَجَدتُّمُوهُم وَلَا تَتَّخِذُوا مِنْهُمْ وَلِيًّا وَلَا نَصِيرًا. Which means pretty much, if they don't do what you want, if the non-Muslim don't do what they want you to do, what you want them to do, then just take them and kill them. Well, it is not really, they show that only, but after that, it says, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ يَصِلُونَ إِلَىٰ قَوْمٍ بَيْنَكُمْ وَبَيْنَهُمْ مِيثَاقٌ أَوْ جَاءُوكُمْ حَصِرَتْ صُدُورُهُمْ أَن يُقَاتِلُوكُمْ أَوْ يُقَاتِلُوا قَوْمَهُم. Which means, now pretty much between every two countries, not all countries, there is some kind of agreement or a peace agreement or whatever, so like we just don't start. I mean, there are a few countries like North and South Korea, there is nothing like that, Australia and China, but pretty much every country signs some kind of peace agreement, so they're not like, they won't just start war for whatever reason. And here it says, you do that, you take those and kill them if they're not the people that you have those kind of agreements with, and they want to fight you for whatever reason they think anyway. And after that, in the same verse, it says, فَإِنْ يَعْتَزَلُوكُمْ فَلَمْ يُقَاتِلُوكُمْ وَأَلْقُوا إِلَيْكُمُ السَّلَمَ فَمَا جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ عَلَيْهِمْ سَبِيلًا. In the same context, it says, do not, you just don't start the fight if they don't start it. And that's pretty much, there's a few, there's just two in Surah At-Tawbah. Verse 12 and 14. 12 says, they always start it kind of in the middle, and they say فَقَاتِلُوا أَئِمَّةَ الْكُفْرِ إِنَّهُمْ لَا أَيْمَانَ لَهُمْ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَنْتَهُونَ. They don't say that it starts with وَإِنْ نَكَثُوا أَيْمَانَهُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ عَهْدِهِمْ وَطَعَنُوا فِي دِينِكُمْ. So if they break some kind of agreement that you have. And then 14 in At-Tawbah also says, قاتلوهم يعذبهم الله بأيديكم ويخزيهم وينصركم عليهم ويشفي صدور قوم مؤمنين. It's in the same context, but they also use this verse a lot of times. So it's just a little glimpse on what they really use, and because not everyone knows everything in the Quran, and we have to go through the Quran. But that's what they do. They take that little piece of a verse and they use it as like, this is what Islam is all about, and this is why ISIS was or still doing what they're doing, and Al Qaeda and Taliban and some other people. So I hope that it kind of made a little bit of sense at least. And that's it. Assalamu alaikum. And sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.